Well, Galdi, the show is about to begin. Here we go with the first round of the 2012 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. Mark Travers and Ryan Gauld on the concrete starting pad here at the Wastelands, Nanaimo, British Columbia. Now, Galdi, when I'm looking around here, this weather that we have today is very inclement. It's been raining off and on. The sun will come up for a second, but it really has sort of set the stage for a weird start to this season when you think about how we ended last season.
That's exactly it is. We end in the rain, we start in the rain. I don't know why Mother Nature's got to be like this, because we are all here trying to have a good time, and it is ruining it. It has really not stopped raining since we've begun the day so far through all the time qualifying and everything that we've seen on the track. The track itself is not horrible, but it's starting to dry and get sticky, so it's almost like you'd rather it rain now for the rest of the day, because if it stops and keeps going the way it is, the track's gonna get super sticky, super mucky, and you're gonna get stuff like we do see at Walton, where it just attracts the bike, causing overheating, guys are getting a little more tired. It's really gonna cause a little problem. Not the way we wanna start it, but hey, the race must go on.
Of course, MX2 bikes right now coming out of staging as per their gate picks fastest last time in qualifying. So the MX2 series is about to get going. Galdi, I got to get back up to the perch. You're going to be making your way out to the track. We're going to have yourself a great day. Hang in there. This is the Wastelands, Nanaimo, British Columbia. Mark Travers and Brian Coster in the booth as we bring you the first round of the 2012 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. Fab, some sights and sounds from the Friday and the Saturday here before the Sunday National. Nice press conference on the Saturday to get things going. All the big riders out there under the Monster tent. And by Sunday morning, Fabs, the energy starts to build at the track because everybody knows that it's race day and things start to get serious.
Oh, the atmosphere electric here in Nanaimo, but the rain just there to cool everyone's jets a little, man. Everyone a little somber when it's rainy out, but round one, the electricity, the fans, everyone just can't wait to see who's been training, who's done the homework in the off season.
Looks like a couple new Monster girls coming out here. We have Natasha, Tasha, and Brittany. So I had to get those girls organized and ready for their 30-board work during the day. Of course, practice starting early at 8 o'clock, then we get right into qualifying. But you're right, the rain sort of threw a wrench into everybody's plans. And in terms of setup and all the preparation, all that stuff is out the window, as mud is the great equalizer. Okay, Fabs, let's take a look at the 2012 Monster Energy Motocross National schedule, starting in the west again, moving our way east.
That's right, Travs, and Edmonton back on the schedule, as well as 2 Saturday races. Kamloops next weekend, and then Gopher Dunes.
So the schedule is mixed up and it's topsy-turvy, but look at this, MX2 boys on the line, and look at the focus. Of course, we talked about the weather, Brian, and that adds a huge wrinkle to their plans right now.
Well, if there isn't enough to worry about at the start of the first race of the year, add the rain. I tell you, these riders, their nerves are already at their peak. Add the rain, the miserable conditions, the visibility is going to be a huge factor. These guys are doing some internal soul searching here. It's going to be gross. It's going to be the same for everyone, but this rain is just not abating. It is coming down here on the start line.
Okay, Fab, just a little note for our viewers. This is what you're going to be seeing today. 2 motos in the MX2 class and 2 motos in the MX1 class. Of course, overall winners, most points gained in each class at the end of the day. Now, the MX2 riders have decided not to go out on their parade lap based on those muddy conditions, but it's time for you to buckle up, put on those party hats. Canadian Motocross next. Welcome back to Vancouver Island, Nanaimo, British Columbia, the Wastelands MX Park for the start of the 2012 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. Mark Travers and Brian Coster in the booth for the first MX2 moto. The lovely Natasha bringing the Moto 1 board across. And this first MX2 moto will be brought to you by MXPMag.com, the #1 motocross site in the country. Fabulous. It looks like Tasha and Brittany got the 30 board up. The boys are getting those tires up to temperature. Brittany to 5. Fabulous. Here we go. 2012 series is underway.
A wet concrete starting pad, lots of wheel spin. Nicky Beatty does not get a good jump against the leading edge Cowies that look strong. And who is this? Kyle beating the 108 back in full force with a huge shot. And that's super important in these mucky conditions.
Looks like a pair of twins in second and third. No, that's Brayton Allison in third place.
Wow.
Good start for him, and it looks like the number 15 KTM Red Bull of Jeremy Medaglia in third.
Well, Jeremy Medaglia, the favorite coming in, back on the KTM. He's familiar with that motorcycle, and he was one of the fastest riders out here last year until he had a seizure right here in mid-air in the second moto while reeling in his brother. But these Allison twins hot this year. The young one, Brayton, on the gas, and a nice pass right there.
Look at that. The number 3 of Teddy Mayer was down in the first corner. I thought I saw some carnage. He is in last place. Medaglia up to second. It looks like Jared Allison. No, that's Parker for crying out loud on the inside in third place. Jared is in fourth, and that's Ryan ABRIGO, the Washington State native, in fifth.
Brayton Allison, the youngest brother, just back inside the top 10 as well. And there we saw when Teddy Mayer was down, we saw Jeremy Medaglia pass Parker Allison to move into second, and he's in all blue gear there on the KTM.
Watch on the inside, it looks like Mayer gets hung up on Medaglia as Beaton crosses that line with a huge shot.
Yeah, Mayer low slides there, hung up, and look at the carnage there on Jeremy Medaglia. The bike skittering all over the racetrack, and there we see Teddy getting up. These guys are already halfway around.
Number 3, Teddy Mayer, a former champion this class in 2009, Brian, is back in the MX2 class after riding MX1 last year. That's why he has the number 3. You see the rain coming down. It is buckets around here, fella. This track right now looks really good. ABRIGO on the outside. Looks like he has Allison for third.
Nice slingshot move around the outside. You gotta stay out of the roost zones out here because it's just gonna stick to your goggles. You can see the tear-off issues ABRIGO having. Finally yanks one off. Now he's no stranger to Canadian soil. He's just down the road there in Washington. He's raced up here many times. And boy, oh boy, look at that rain trials.
Ryan, have a look at 3 pilots in a row. That is the 3 Allison brothers on that Troy Leith Designs gear, Blackfoot Direct Yamahas. Unbelievable, running 3rd, 4th, and 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Well, Brayton was a Pro-Am rider last year, got number 77, so this is his first bona fide year as an expert, and their mom and dad have to be stoked. And look at these twins. I can't tell them apart, even out on the racetrack, let alone without their helmets on.
Number 23 is Parker, number 20 is Jared. Jared on the inside as they come into this tight EBC left-hander. Oh my goodness, fabulous racing. Now the Allisons were in the MX1 class last year, and they've dropped down too, so this action is intense.
Yeah.
To the 108 of Kyle Beats.
Love it.
Monster leading edge Kawasaki in the lead. We didn't see Beats for the last 2 years. He's been hurt in the first round. Great to see him out front, and it looks like Medaglia in second.
Well, if you guys have ever tried ice racing, this is about as close as it gets on the dirt. And look at these guys landing. Scary. Look at this guy. Just landed. These are pro riders. Uh-oh, there's a grenaded motorcycle. That could be the number 28 of Spencer Knowles. He was running up there. Don't quote me on that, but that could have been Knowles' bike smoking out there.
The number 406 of Ryan ABRIGO in 3rd place as we head back to our lead package. It looks like J-Dags has moved up on Beats. I love this part of the track, Brian. Real dicey into that drop-down corner. A little bit of a dragon's back as they funnel down into the first elevator section.
It's all about the body English, and it's all about correcting and recorrecting because the bike's always going this way and that. Look at this, up the inside, he could have taken Beaton. No, opts a little bit cleaner line, and Beaton tabletops there, gets the power down on that quacker and makes it happen for now. But this is the best race on the racetrack right now, and it's for the lead.
The one thing that's great about this track, although it's tight and it has shorter lap times, it's got impressive jumps and great little elevation areas.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I like is the guys are able to knife in, and it's almost like a bit of a supercross style type race.
Well, Matt Lee, the track builder, had this place so dialed, and then the rain came, just mucked it up. Look at Jeremy jumps. Oh, but he can't jump the second double, and Beaton does, so you can just see that young Jeremy very aggressive. You can see a wad of tear-offs there dangling off the right side of his helmet. That's got to be a little annoying, ducking the head, getting out of the roost zone. That's so important. It's just the crisscrossing visibility is going to play a factor for sure here.
Well, once the gate is dropped for this first moto, Brian, all that adrenaline starts to settle down a little bit, and they get into their race form. Now, look at the track right now. Slippery, difficult, but still rideable and very attackable in those corners. But look at those ruts. Unbelievable.
Yeah, they're deep, and lapped riders already playing a factor. Like Goldie mentioned, we're better to have the rain pouring down here to help kind of rinse the bikes, rinse the track, keep everything loose. if the rain stops, this is just gonna clay up and get really solid. So right now the rain, believe it or not, is helping these riders, but Jeremy MEDAGLIA very aggressive on beat.
Oh, both doubling.
Yeah, they're both doubling, you're right, very raceable still. They're able to do a lot of the obstacles, but now Beats around the outside, carrying momentum. That's the line right there, hooks up, that's the lead. Jeremy MEDAGLIA pulling it out here in the first moto. Let's see if Beats can respond. This is his home track and his home province.
Remember, that high line you said through the Suzuki Beer Garden line of choice, carrying more momentum inside rutted. Right now, a bit of a freight train through the Honda section, but I like the fact that Beats is staying in attack mode, Brian. He's not following.
No, there he goes. It looks like he wants to show him a wheel. You can try so hard and get close, but then when you try to make a pass, you take an alternate line and you can get into some of that thick goop, and it just sucks the power right out of the motorcycle. So sometimes you have to follow, get in that same rut. Now there it is. Can't Beat come across and show. Oh, MEDAGLIA wheel. MEDAGLIA with that outer momentum. We saw that kind of the opposite way around there a few laps ago. This time Beaton on the outside. Can't get her done.
Dynamite shot as Beaton launches into that high bank, semi-Talladega style corner, getting the drive on the tabletop. Brian MEDAGLIA on the inside. Beaton looking for some traction, a little bit of wheel spin, still in second place.
Kyle, they're using all the racetrack. He wants to get out there. He is hungry this year. He looks so good. He's in shape. He raced a lot of the U.S. Supercross last year, so I don't think conditioning's going to be a factor. But right now, the mud is.
To our third place rider, number 406, that's Ryan ABRIGO on that Barnes Evergreen MX Park Honda. He's had a great race, Brian. MEDAGLIA still in the lead, opening up a little bit over top of Beaton.
I'm really impressed with ABRIGO. He is on the gas and he is charging hard. Right now, Richard Gray on that Ocean Transportation Rockstar Yamaha in fourth place. That is huge for little Richard here, and he's riding super solid. Bobby KINIRY mentoring him as his teammate up in the MX-1.
The number 22, Dylan Kalen, on that Hully Gully Yamaha, had the inside line in fifth place. Kalen was super fast in the eastern swing of the MX2 class last year, Brian. He's out with his father. They're going across the country. I like that young pilot. To number 3, Teddy Mayer, still having his troubles in the top section here, Brian. He's sitting in ninth place right now, but not having the race he wanted to.
Oh, problems for Teddy coming out early. There's Kyle Beaton. Looks like he's just hanging back in second place. He gets the last lap flag. These guys are going to be so happy to see that white flag waving in these conditions. A lot of these riders without goggles, and the roost out here notorious. Lots of shale rock mixed in with that muck.
To our leader, the number 15, Jeremy MEDAGLIA on that Red Bull KTM, Royal Distributing back, looking good in the lead. Third place, ABRIGO, number 406. He looks like he's pretty aggressive out there still.
He's been charging hard all race, so a solid moto for him. But back to Jeremy MEDAGLIA, haven't known a kid that has trained so hard. He is so focused, lives, eats, and breathes moto. This kid just wants to be the best he can be. He is deservedly the winner here. He's only got a couple more turns. Here's the monster checkered flag. Jeremy skitters out and takes the first moto win here in Nanaimo, wearing the Atlas brace under the tutelage of JSR. He gets her done. Stick around. Podium's up next. Welcome back to Nanaimo and the Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. Our winner, a little bit of a brown nose there with team manager Andy White till we go to the Yamaha leaderboard. Parker Allison beats twin brother Jared Love Ingalls in fifth. Mayer seventh. Keelan Meston and Ross Johnson rounded out behind Keelan.
It was going to get gnarlier and gnarlier as the day went on because the rain was coming down harder and harder. So I got a good start, and once I got in second, I slowly got up to Beaton in first and tried a couple of crazy passes and then calmed down and made a stick, and that was it after that.
He gets the whole shot. He finishes second. First MX2 moto. Beats. Great start for you, buddy. You had to ride a little hesitant there, I think, in that moto just because of the conditions. You got to be happy with a second.
Yeah, you know, I'm pumped. It's been a while since I've been up here, and I don't know, I'm getting smarter in my old age and just draw stride in my ability and to 100% of what the track's capable of, and it was awesome. I ended up second and rode smooth, didn't have any really crazy moments.
I came up here a few years ago, about 05, and haven't really been back, but I've always wanted to come here. I mean, I live in Washington, it's so close, so finally had some good support from Barn Pros, Evergreen Motocross Park, and they helped me get me here, and I'm just happy to be up here on the podium.
Hi, my name's Kyle Beaton. I'm racing the number 108 Monster Energy Leading Edge Kawasaki. Every time I say I'm from Surrey, everyone always usually laughs, but technically I'm like on the far outskirts. I like to say Langley. So I don't like to be known as like the grubby, you know, dirty part of Surrey. It's been a long winter. I've been down in California for like 6-7 months and just having fun again, you know, just going back to the roots of just racing every weekend and just having a good time. The jump to Cowie was a little bit different. We at a professional level should be able to adapt to a bike pretty quickly. So, I mean, when you hear guys saying that they're not used to the bike halfway through the year, I think that's just false and a joke. My Twitter account name is at the little whatever sign there, at KDBeats134. I like posting pictures, and we were doing funny interviews with Ryan Lockhart last week and just joke around with stuff like that. Live, breathe, eat, moto.
Nice job, Beats. The brand new rider profile segment on the Monster Energy Motocross National Show this year, The Naked Truth. MX1 boys on the line, Brian, getting ready for their first moto, and look at the rain coming down. Some close-up shots of these riders as they prepare to do battle in their first moto. Very intense time of day, Brian. Then you add in the rain. Woo, it's a house of cards coming down.
Great to see Bobby KINIRY all smiles. You can see a lot of foam mounted on the helmets to keep the mud off, extended peaks with lenses, duct tape over their face to keep the mud out of the grill. Racing next. Stick with us.
This is the Wastelands, Nanaimo, British Columbia. Mark Chavez and Brian Coster in the booth for the first MX1 moto of the day. The first MX1 moto of the season, Brian, and the rain is coming down. This first MX1 moto will be brought to you by Smith, the lovely Monster Tasha, with a little mud on the thigh there, Fabulous. Is that an accident, or what is that?
That stuff is everywhere. Gotta give a lot of credit to the spectators out here braving the elements. These BC fans, man, they're come out in droves, but you know where it's dry? Up in the beer garden.
You got that right, as Natasha goes to 5, supported by Monster Brittany. Great shot of the Machine Racing number 4 to Yamaha. Kyle Keys, the game is down, Brian, coming to that first corner. Who's gonna get that road swimming hole?
Yeah. Great jump by Keister, but rounding out of the hole, looks like number 5, leading edge. Monster Kawasaki Matt GOERKE with a good hole shot, but up the inside, teammate Tyler Villapoto going for the lead early and goes for a tear-off already. Goes wide, and it looks like, oh yeah, Villapoto loses some positions. Bobby KINIRY right there, number 6, Yamalube rider Sean Moffenmeyer Trav sitting 4th.
Right, it looks like Moffenmeyer got held up. There he is in 5th. Fasciotti on the outside in 4th. I want to talk about Villapoto. Tyler Villapoto is the younger brother of the great Ryan Villapoto. He's getting his feet wet in the Canadian Series on that Monster Leading Edge team, and he looks good so far. Great to have him here.
Well, we're going to see what that kid's made out of on this rough track now. KINIRY and Fasciotti have gotten by young Tyler Villapoto. He's still holding court in 4th, but look at the puddles filled right up with waters. Fasciotti goes for a nice enduro line up the inside. Boy, those ruts are deep and full of water on the opening laps. And KINIRY goes for the table. Fasciotti does it, rhythming in different time. Neck and neck for 2nd place, drag racing along, eating the roost right now from GOERKE.
Fabulous. This Wasteland track has changed dramatically since that first MX2 moto. A lot of water on the track from the rain. Fasciotti with a big double gets into the lead. Remember, Colton Fasciotti has changed teams, Brian. You're seeing him on the KTM this year for the first time, and Bobby KINIRY in 3rd place on the Yamaha. Look at GOERKE. He goes outside to inside. Does he have Fat Yotes in that straightaway? I think so. Oh my goodness, we have not seen that too many times in Canadian motocross. Fasciotti getting past and early.
So Fasciotti's so used to getting in front. Look at him, still goggle lows. He went to mess with his goggles, and GOERKE roosted on by. Look at how difficult that section is, that kind of off-camber right-hander. All the riders struggling there. Puddles, this place is like a splash pad out here for the first laps. Hopefully these puddles will dissipate as the rain goes on, but right now, this is just horrendous, treacherous conditions.
Fasciotti looking good right now in 2nd place, Brian. Seasoned veteran, he's got a lot of time. Okay, Fasciotti was in the lead when they came into the beer garden, got hung up on that inside line, and just as you said, went for the goggle, went for the tear-off.
A bad time to go for a tear-off. Fasciotti is so used to getting the lead and no one challenging him, he figured he had time. Big mistake with a rider like Matt GOERKE this year, coming in healthy. Last year at the start of the year, GOERKE was hurt. This year he's fresh out of a solid Supercross year. Fasciotti's got his hands full right now with the Kawasaki.
Fabs, the battle for third place is heating up. KINIRY on the inside is battling with the 191. Jaromir Morancic, the Czech rider, who's the support rider for the leading edge team right now, Brian, and he has got a great start and battling up in that top fray.
Yeah, he's giving KINIRY fits right now. Last year he came into Canada full of hope, broke his leg at round 1 in Kamloops, and that's where he's based, along with leading edge. So now with the yellow flag out, he is all over the back wheel of Bobby KINIRY as they motor up by the mechanics area tracks. Flicks are getting pretty hot up the front.
2 corners back, the battle for 6 is on fire. The number 29 of Brock Hoyer, local boy riding for that FACCIOTTI Kawasaki team. And the number 2 of Dusty Clapbrine. Surprised to see him so far back in the pack, but again, muddy conditions, anything's happened. Looks like Villapoto on the inside.
Oh, and Hoyer goes off the tabletop there on the right of our screen over the checker, so he loses a couple spots. Dusty Clatt actually fell on the start, and he's come back from dead last, so he has been charging hard. Campbell River native lives close by to this track is Sean Moffenbauer, solid as a rock. This kid is focused, and he is fit as a fiddle right now, and showing well for the Yamaluke team.
Brian, back to our leaders. GOERKE in the lead, number 5, and number 1 of Colton Fasciotti in second place, about 4 or 5 seconds separating them. And look at the way this track is deteriorating. It's unbelievable.
These guys are paddling around. It is survival. And in these conditions, if I was a team manager, I'd just say, stay upright. Don't worry about positioning, nothing. Just go as fast as you can, keep it up on 2 wheels, and at the end you're going to get results. Look at JR. They call him JR, Jaromir Romanek, Czech Republic rider, showing well in the muck. He qualified in the top 10, and he had a flat tire at the end of the track, so everyone was whispering about him coming into this moto.
And that pass that he made on Tyler Villapoto was for 4th place, so things are pretty tight in the top 5. To our leader, number 5, Matt GOERKE, coming back into the pits to get a set of goggles. There's been a couple of riders stopping. They're pointing back. He had a look back, and now he's on the gas. Here comes. Where the heck is Fat Yotes? There he is! Oh my goodness, he was close.
Holy smokes, GOERKE's mechanic, Chad, give him some new Smith goggles, but look at on the outside. Oh, and crisscrossing is Fasciotti through the mud on the inside. Look at the wheel spin right now. GOERKE hung up, but Fasciotti hooks up into the lead. This is huge, Trav. 2 laps to go.
Fasciotti's been riding a very smart race, Brian. He was as much as 8 seconds back, but biding his time. GOERKE goes in for a goggle stop. Fasciotti closes the door to the number 7, Bobby KINIRY. Rockstar Motovan Yamaha in 3rd place. Thinking about KINIRY, didn't have any of his personal gear come in this weekend, Brian. No knee braces, no gear, no suspension. It's been a difficult start, but he's sitting in 3rd.
No goggles, and he has just been eating a lot of roost. These guys are soldiers. They are like warriors on this track. Fasciotti right now with the nice little cushion on GOERKE. A ballsy move coming in for God's traps with only 8-second cushion, and now he's paying the price.
You better believe it. Let's face it, you can lead the whole moto, but you have to be leading when the checkers happen. Right now, Fasciotti is in the lead. I like this little cluster. We've got the 161 of Villapoto and the number 4 of Kyle Keith with a great line on the inside. They call him the dozer, Brian. Fit as a fiddle, looking really good with Noof in his corner this year on that Yamaha.
Yeah, on Machine Racing back, LGS suspension. He just passed Tyler Villapoto and is checking out on him, so a strong ride for Keister right now. Now here's the battle for the lead. GOERKE jumps on the outside. Let's see if Fasciotti does the table. He doesn't, but so does GOERKE in time. They're coming into the white flag is up, waving with 1 lap to go. This is huge past the mechanics area. Up shifting. Fasciotti right now has to protect those inside lines, but GOERKE's got nothing to lose as he goes for a tear off.
A little bit of head shake for GOERKE as they freight train underneath the bridge, Brian. GOERKE on the outside. Fasciotti hung up with an inside line. Oh my goodness. Power sliding around the corner as he gets into the lead. GOERKE making it happen. Let's see if Fasciotti can carry that speed on the outside. No way. Freight train, Brian. Big pass with 1 lap to go.
Wow, GOERKE was going for the inside, hit that kicker, bounced him into the middle. Fasciotti chose the line of the lapper, and he was stifled, so GOERKE miraculously moves into the lead. Here is Tyler MEDAGLIA, a solid, quiet moto on that Gopher Dudes Racing Honda, sitting 7th.
Fabs, the motto in moto is that you cannot win the series in one moto, but you can lose the series in one moto. I think most of our riders right now are satisfied with their placement. They're getting points anyway, the top guys, with GOERKE coming in on his final approach.
Well, yeah, and some people are almost calling this a throwaway race before it even happened, so any points you get here kind of count as double. A jubilant Matt GOERKE takes the win. His team is celebrating big time here in the mud. Podium's up next.
Welcome back to the Pigpen. They call the Wastelands in Nanaimo, and look at the carnage after the first MX1 Moto. Bobby K. Goggleless is a mess. Let's get to the Yamaha leaderboard and your top 10. Keese rounds the corner in 4th, like a romantic Villapoto, Medaglia, Moppenbeyer, Hoyer, and Kyle McGlynn rounding out your top 10. Golden!
Yeah, there was no way you were going to let that one go after he got by there. We were going crazy up in the booth talking on the live radio, but it looked like you just had that little edge with the fresh goggles, I think, because you made the pass and then you pulled it back out again.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, at the beginning, he passed me on a double. I got him back, and then, yeah, once I got fresh goggles, I was good to go. I just went crazy at the end.
Hey, all right, buddy, congrats on such a great start to the year on your monster bike.
Thanks a lot.
Number 1, the champion, coming back and starting the series off right, getting 2nd spot in that first moto. Colton, buddy, way to start, because that was a gnarly one, man. And what a finish, you and GOERKE coming down to the wire.
Yeah, man, it was just, it was chaos out there. I was pretty sure that he was in the lead, but I wasn't even too sure where we're out there, and just trying to keep her on 2 wheels and try to have some fun anyways, but it was pretty sketchy out there.
Hey, this is Tyler Medaglia. Hey, this is Tyler Medaglia. I ride for the GDR Honda team, and number 11. We're here at Nanaimo Wastelands. I'm really comfortable on the Honda. It's got a nice rider compartment that suits me a little bit better than the other 450s that I've tried. Anyways, I feel like I'm riding better than I ever have, so that's huge. I wanted the cover shot to be really cool. I wanted to look neat. You know, I thought it would be cool to have a fender touch. I mean, we've seen a billion and a half corner shots or whips or something like that. You never really see any 12 o'clock wheelies, so I try not to be a sheep. You know, I try to want to trend set and do things a little bit differently than, you know, as we see with the team and everything that we've started. The way to live is kind of what I'm all about, and try to be the best person you can be and enjoy yourself.
Fabulous, the sun has come out at the Wastelands. 2nd MX2 Moto right around the corner. Welcome back to the Wastelands, Nanaimo, British Columbia, and the first round of the 2012 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals, and the lovely Monster Girls coming out to get this 2nd MX2 Moto underway. This moto will be brought to you by Drift POV Action Cams. It's going to be a good one because, Fabs, with this sun coming out, this track's going to dry a little bit, although there is copious amounts of water still on the track, so that could cause some problems.
Yeah, it's going to just form up, become this really thick type clay, but right now little Richard Gray on the inside, way back. It's a decent jump off that slippery concrete pad. Into turn 1 they go, and it looks like, oh, it's neck and neck with Jared Allison and Kyle Beaton, and then Allison jumps into the lead, but Beaton's got something to say about it, Travs.
Beaton going on the inside, and they're going to give him the Royal Distributing Hole shot in the 2nd MX2 Moto. He's out in the lead. Great start for the number 20, Jared Allison. I think I saw the number 3 of Teddy Mayer on the inside as he slops his way over that tabletop and gets into 2nd place.
Quick reaction time for Mayer to avoid Allison. They're into 2nd, so a pair of cowies, and they're having struggles all around this track, Travs. Matt Lee tried to push as much of the slop off, but boy, it might be all for naught because this track is gross.
We've got a rider down on the inside. I think that's the number 22 of Kalen. Looks like maybe a bike problem. He doesn't look like he's got anything wrong with him. The interesting thing about this track, Brian, it's on the side of a hill, so all the water runs down. So we're gonna find pools and puddles all over the place. Gray with a great start, and it looks like Jared Allison's still in 3rd.
And is that his brother Parker just back in that Troy Lee gear? And look how deep these corners are. Richard Gray now on the gas, going for 3rd. A tear-off. Everyone's going for tear-offs here. It's great challenges. Allison on the outside here in the rhythm section. Travis, it's gnarly out here.
You want to talk about a day to get a great start, of course. Yeah. Everybody that's back from the leaders is getting totally swamped with all that sloppy roost. The thing that I find interesting with all the water that's collecting, did you see Mayer double through and take the lead there for crying out loud?
What a nervy move by Teddy Mayer. That was a scary attempt, but boy, did it pan out well for him. He's in first place ahead of teammate BEATON, and the puddles, Travs, everywhere out here, more akin to an enduro ride, and this is really hard on the motorcycles.
Getting back to my point about all the water that's up here, what happens is those ruts fill up with water, and it's really hard to choose your line with all that standing water. It makes it more difficult. Okay, back to the start. Let's just see if we can see what happens to Kalen coming in. MEDAGLIA gets pinched off there, and it just looks like Kalen stops as he's coming up. Maybe he's got a motor problem.
His bike just quit right there. The first moto, very taxing on the motorcycles. Now here's that photo. Oh, it's just by a knobby to BEATON, but Allison has the momentum. But right here, it's on this jump where Jarrod just puts the gas on. You can see 1 foot off the peg, styling nice and clean, but not for long.
I think Allison might have got that whole shot. It was definitely a photo finish. Okay, Mayer's in first place, BEATON in second. Look at this battle we have right here. This is the number 28 of Spencer Knowles on the outside, working a little bit of that BC slop to his advantage.
Nothing better than making a pass through the mechanics area. Knowles gets her done. He had a great top 5 position in the first moto, and his bike quit. So this is redemption for him as he gets by Jarrod. Allison moves into third place in the G8 checkpoint Yamaha.
Allison challenging, gets back into third, but doesn't get the drive out of the corner. Look at little Spenny Knowles taking care of business. Number 28, although you can't tell in this slop.
He's a whole shot specialist, but around the outside. First moto winner, Jeremy MEDAGLIA, roost off the front wheel. This is up in the 9th place. He gets by Parker Allison, younger brother Brayton back there. Jeremy messing with tear-offs is up into 9th.
Brian, quick note, the CMRC officials have shortened this moto, and they will shorten the next moto compared to normal length motos. So the guys that did not get a great start have got to get on the gas. The battle for second place is raging. Spencer Knowles has caught up to the number 108 of Kyle BEATON, and I'm telling you, this part of the track is treacherous.
You're right, Travs. Knowles on the move, big time on BEATON, BEATON up the inside. Oh, and he gets hung up, almost goes over the high side. Spencer Knowles rockets around into second place. What a move for that Yamaha pilot.
And BEATON having a lot of problems with his vision. You saw him go up for a tear-off as Spencer Knowles gets away from him. Now he's got some problems, looks like behind him. I think that's Allison coming up underneath as BEATON is under siege.
BEATON having all kinds of troubles, and he's still messing with those goggles, wiping and pulling, losing another position. No, yes, Allison gets through, and Allison, look at the rag hanging off the side, and he's pulling tear-offs too. BEATON back into third. It's not over yet.
The rags a la JSR, that was one of his big tricks back in the day for muddy races. So BEATON right now in third place, still struggling with the goggles, and there they come off, Brian.
And BEATON's got them around his wrist. He didn't even chuck them. I guess he wants to save them for later. Richard Gray on the outside now, up to the mechanics there. Challenging BEATON there, slows right down, looks over, doesn't want the roost. He finally drops his goggles here. Let's see if he can get back on the gas. He's lost 2 positions.
Fabs, it just goes to show you how important vision is out on the track. We've seen a lot of riders toss their goggles, come into the pits and get new goggles. So vitally important as we see our leader, number 3, Teddy Mayer, in total control. I love the way he's navigating this track right now. Super aggressive, just calm and in control, and look at how difficult it is.
Yeah, rock solid. We saw Zach Diana move into 4th when BEATON had his goggle issues, along with Ross Johnson on the Suzuki. But the battle for 7th is heating up with Jeremy MEDAGLIA challenging Kyle BEATON, and they have caught right up the Topher Ingles. There's Topher right there on the number 19 Honda drives. Wow, good battling.
You can see from the body language of MEDAGLIA, very aggressive, while BEATON tentative and holding back. So very interesting. Those two met in the first moto. Look at that inside line for Jeremy, but Ingles is not giving up. I love the defense. Super aggressive for the number 19, Topher Ingles.
Some elbow contact there. MEDAGLIA challenging, but Ingles holding him off for now, but Jeremy is super aggressive here, taking a peek up the inside.
Brian, line choice in racing is vital, but on a track like this, sometimes it's difficult to actually make a decision and then let it happen. You kind of have to just follow where you're going.
Yeah, I think the grease in the mud also dictates where you're going, because sometimes you want to go inside and you just drift out. But look at this contact. And Jeremy takes out Ingles up the inside. What contact? Look at the steam pouring off of these bikes. Ingles is standing on MEDAGLIA's bike, and Jeremy, gives him a little shove over the top. Jeremy might have to actually help Ingles lift his bike off.
Goodness.
And this is just carnage. That was 5th and 6th place. That's points, that's money. And we've got some track workers in trying to help. There's head referee Paul Kingsley getting in the mix. Jeremy is up and his bike is still running, and Tolfers is not. Oh my goodness, so we'll have to see in the score sheets exactly how many guys got by them there, but that is entertaining stuff out here in the slop.
The pushing, the shoving, the barking, the biting. This is MX2 Racing in Canada, Brian, and we're all fired up to our leader, number 3. That is Teddy Maier, Monster Leading Edge Kawasaki, in control right now.
Well, Teddy up from Idaho has been with Kawasaki riding in Canada for many summers. Great to see him up here and in charge, but Spencer Knowles, GA Checkpoint Yamaha is the name on everyone's lips right now. In 2nd place, the OGO rider, sponsored by FMF, 100% goggles. He is just rocking into the white flag, and he kind of got burned in the first moto. Challenged hard, was in the top 5. The bike quit right near the end of the race, so good on him for 2nd place with 1 lap to go, Trav. Woohoo! Let's see if he can hold it together.
We talk about this series as being a marathon, Brian. If at first you don't succeed, you got to get back on the bike and get points in every single moto. Just like our leader, number 3, Teddy Maier, who didn't get the finish in the first moto that he wanted, even though he's a title contender, comes back and wins the 2nd moto. And I think he's showing his experience, Brian. He's won a championship in this class. He's racing the MX1 class. Now he's back in MX2, and you're seeing it right now.
A sweet win for him, a little redemption for Teddy Maier. Rare show of emotion with the big arm pump from Teddy. To our Yamaha leaderboard we go. Jared Allison hangs on for 3rd. Gotta love Zach Deanna, the Pro-Am rider, along with Ross Johnson on Suzuki's. Cody Woodworth from Alaska on the 125 comes in 8th.
In the 2nd moto, I was like, I got a pretty good start. I got by Kyle fairly fast, I was like, man, I got, before my goggles got screwed, and I was able to get by him and just kind of get in a groove, and I felt so good. It's just like when you're out front, it's just like you barely even try. You get in the zone, and that's exactly what I did, and it was awesome.
Spence, a great ride for you, buddy. You hung in under some tough conditions, navigated that track, and basically rode your own race into 2nd place.
Yeah, I had a bit of bad luck the first moto, ended up blowing up my bike, but we regrouped and came out for the 2nd moto. Came out of the gate pretty strong and just worked my way to the front and ended up 2nd, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Jared, a crazy day out on the track, a short moto, but a fine finish for you. 3rd overall in the day, 3rd in that moto.
Yeah, no, I'm super pumped with that. Went 6th in the first moto and 3rd in the 2nd moto for a 3rd overall. I can't complain about that. More than happy about that. I was nervous coming into this, but man, I'm so happy. I like this track, yeah.
To the total points and the overalls on the day, Teddy Maier, Kyle Beaton, Jared Allison, Jerry Medaglia settles for 4th, Brother Parker 5th, Ross Johnson and Zach Deanna, love that. Spencer Knowles salvaging 8th, gotta like Nonnett and ABRIGO rounding out the top 10. MX1 pilots in the staging area getting ready to do battle for the final moto of the day. Stick around, it's gonna be good.
This is the 2012 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. Mark Travers and Brian Coster in the booth for the final moto of the day. This is the 2nd MX1 moto, and the lovely Monster Brittany with the 30 board up. This 2nd MX1 moto will be brought to you by RoyalDistributing.com. Brian, the sun is coming out for crying out loud. That could make a very interesting moto. There's still tons of water in this track.
Boy, I wish we had this sun about 5 hours ago, but it is what it is. Colton FACCIOTTI beside Keith sitting way back to try and get some hookup. Gets a lousy jump, having to peek up the inside. Boy, but it's GOERKE again with a huge shot.
Slippery concrete start, but GOERKE got great hookup, 2nd moto in a row. I love this big bowl turn. Lots of nice safe options for the riders. Coming over the tabletop, we got a rider down. I think that might have been Filippono for crying out loud.
We went right into the back end of the rider in front of him and caused him to low slide. Look at Bobby K up into 2nd place, going for tear-offs, or in his case, roll-offs, pulling that string to pull the rolls across. And look at this, 4 guys in for 2nd place at Press. Trash, looks like Keast is in there.
An aggressive move for the 149 Performex Yamaha, Kyle McGlynn, as he gets into 2nd place, and now he's gonna bang bars with the champ, Fettios.
McGlynn riding well. He's been out for a couple years, back on the 450. Gotta like what we're seeing from him, solid. But he's got a host of fast pro riders with single digits.
Cross-rutted, too bad.
Too little, too late for McGlynn. Let's see if he can save something. Tyler Medaglia squeaks through. There goes JR, 191, and that is Jaromir Romaniuk.
And not a bad start for number 35 of PJ Stratton. So we got some familiar names up here, but look who's out in front. The number 5 of Matt GOERKE on that monster leading edge Kawasaki. Wins the first moto, gets a great start in the second moto, is making his way through that full diaper up at the top here, Fabs.
Well, he is checking out, and you can just see him slithering this way and that in that slop, the front end plowing everywhere. But right now, GOERKE is checking out on the field with that clean air. You gotta love it, man, because visibility here is everything. Love the way these guys are still being pretty aggressive out in that back rhythm section. That is dicey at best.
Sitting in third place is the number 7 Rockstar Yamaha, Bobby KINIRY. That's where he finished in the first moto, so he's looking good. He's got those leaders in check. FACCIOTTI making a stab on the inside and then gets stymied.
I can't believe how much ground they caught up on GOERKE there. Back to a replay of the start, paddling away our leaders. GOERKE hooks up big time, poof, through the chalk. He goes with another $200, and that's the Royal Distributing Hold shot. And now look at McGlynn. Beautiful, second place, love and life, cross-rutted down. And Bobby K has to do a little aggressive maneuvering along with MEDAGLIA to get around him, but boy, McGlynn's got to start with muddy controls, and we've got carnage all over team.
The number 2 Red Bull KTM of Dusty Cloud with a so-so start. The number 273 of Gavin Grayson, former number 2 rider in this country, riding for Redemption Racing, into the mix. Crazy up top here, Brian. You really got to settle down in the mud.
Look at these guys struggling. They're passing, they're dicing and jockeying for position. To anyone's guess who's going to come out on top here, it's survival of the fittest. Early stages, GOERKE with that clean front number plate. Loving it. He's actually pulled a little gap here on Fat Yotes, and we're not used to seeing FACCIOTTI covered in goop like this, man. He's used to ruling the roost out here.
And look at the piles of mud at the side of the track. The track workers trying to get that slop off, giving these riders the option to find lines in those corners. Back to a battle just outside the top 10. We got Berger and the number 6 of Moffenbauer making their way through this transition section.
Oh, and Moffenbauer peels off the gog, so he's saving his for later too. As Berger goes by, Berger up from Idaho, riding really solid, number 26 on that private Kawasaki. Roosts up ahead, and there goes Moffenbauer, in for some new gods, perhaps.
As the Czech number 191 Romantic slips by, Moffenbauer comes in for some new lenses.
Dad Randy on the clutch, mechanic Bill hands him the gogs. Oh, and Brock Hoyer is down, 9th place in the first moto. Loses the spot here, but this is a fairway back. Hoyer's got to regroup and try and get some of those top 20 points here.
Brian, MEDAGLIA on the outside is actually lapping Hoyer. He's in 6th place. We see Klatt on the inside. He's in 5th. So it'd be nice to see MEDAGLIA and Klatt move up and get into that top fray.
Tyler MEDAGLIA, 2-time MX2 champions, made the jump back up to the 450 class, so he's doing well. 7th in the first moto. Let's see if he can challenge Dusty. It'll help his overalls.
As MEDAGLIA tosses his goggles off, vision's still a problem. Remember, MEDAGLIA, when he was riding in the MX1 class a few years back, finished as high as 3rd, so he knows how to run in this class. With Hoyer having more problems, Brian, he stalled his bike.
Boy, oh boy, and these bikes are hot right now. They get no airflow at all. The rads are packed with mud. The coolant actually boils right out of them. And Klatt soldiers through 5th place, salvaging, you know, pretty good day considering he started dead last in the first moto. So sitting 5th right now to our leader, Matt GOERKE, who has Colton FACCIOTTI in close proximity. As this thing winds down, it ain't over. FACCIOTTI should be coming into screen. There he is, just back a couple seconds.
And GOERKE, if you think about it too, Brian, got a real clean jersey, so he hasn't been taking a lot of roost, maybe picking good lines. Interesting thing about GOERKE, remember he won that clean sweep last year at Gopher Dunes, spent most of the season injured. Coming into this year, he looks really good right now.
Yeah, him and Bobby KINIRY both with strong U.S. Supercross series under their belt. They've been racing every weekend. Colton FACCIOTTI, Dusty Klatt, guys like that. This is their first race. Oh, McGlynn sampling again, Travs, after his first lap problems. That was 9th he's just chucked away.
As Smallberger and Allen get by, we move back to our leader, number 5, Matt GOERKE, leading edge monster Kawasaki, and Colton FACCIOTTI has caught up to him, Brian. They're coming in to get their last lap flag, so things are getting interesting a la Moto 1.
Colton looks pretty relaxed there, going for tear-offs, getting that front wheel up and over the landing, still playing with tear-off. Visibility definitely a key, but he's been able to hold on to his goggles here, which is super important on this gnarly track. And GOERKE now with a bit of a comfort zone on the last lap.
Let's keep in mind, Brian, that both Klatt and FACCIOTTI racing on new bikes for a brand new team. I think right now things are looking pretty good when you take into consideration the mud. But what I like is this battle for 3rd place. The number 7 of Bobby KINIRY on that Rockstar Moto Motovan Yamaha, followed closely by the Machine Racing Yamaha, number 4, the Dozer, Kyle Keast.
Keast has caught up a lot of ground. These two good buddies off the track, but when the gate drops, it's gang warfare. The gloves are off as Keast is charging hard and reeling in his buddy, both on Yamahas this year. Pretty cool stuff.
Fabs, I think Keast would even take his sister out, Crystal, for crying out loud if she was ahead of him in a moto, as we get to our leader, number 5. Matt GOERKE having some problems in that top section. It's topsy-turvy, last lap. Things are crazy. Where the heck is Fat Yotes? It looks like he might have fallen back. There he goes. Looks like GOERKE's got 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah, I think the mechanics told him on the board exactly where Colton was his last lap. He's just kind of cruising in, keeping it safe, but it ain't over right now between the two Yamahas. There's Keast challenging KINIRY. KINIRY hung up with a lap where Keast a peak on the inside through the Honda left-hander. Looks like he's got the drive for third. Oh, and he gets hung up right there on the exit. Bobby K with a mitt full of throttle, salvaging third. There's only a few corners left, Trav. Let's see if Keast can get her done.
KINIRY showing us how important it is to be just smooth on that throttle, Brian. He just about spun out to our leader, number 5, Matt GOERKE, on his final approach. Brian, this checker flag win right here will give him the clean sweep. We haven't seen one of those from him since Gopher Dunes last year. He is really looking good.
Man, oh man, him and his team will be so stoked considering this track. I mean, these ruts are right down to the hard shale. Flat tires, been an issue. GOERKE goes for the clean sweeparoo here in Nanaimo.
To the Yamaha leaderboard, second MX1 moto. Let's go down to 7th. Gavin Graysick with a nice ride. Tyler Villapoto goes from last to 8th. Josh Allen in 9th. I like that. And Morgan Berger, 10th. BP Jeans at the stage. Take it.
A solid day here for the number 7 OTSF Motovan Yamaha Rockstar Bobby KINIRY, buddy. I know you came here to want to win, but in a day like this, I think a 3-3 day makes you pretty happy.
Yeah, you know, like I said, we came in with some momentum, man. I had a tough day. Ended up getting 2 flats right off the bat that moto, and just really tried to salvage what I could. Got a bunch of dirt in my eyes, scratched my retinas, got to go to the hospital, lost my bags. You know, it's just been a nightmare, but, you know, my riding has been my getaway for all the negative stuff. And, man, I feel like we're coming to be ready for this championship this year. I'm just excited how we started off this year.
Solid first day here at the Nationals. 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4-4 for our top 4. Like MEDAGLIA, 5th over. Tyler Villapoto showed a lot of heart today, as did Clad, Graysick, McGlynn, and Moffenbauer. There's our top 3 of the day in MX1. Champagne showers for all. Let's hope we get some sunshine next week for the Saturday Moto in Kamloops.
Nice job, Fabs. You have been watching the 2012 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals, brought to you by Motovan.com, Canada's source for power sports parts and accessories, and RoyalDistributing.com, Canada's power sports leader. Special thanks going out to the Nanaimo Motocross Club for putting on a great first round. This one's going to end in spray showers. We'll see you next week in the Loops.